All right, so this demo talks a little bit about using liver of sulfur to add a patina to your metal. Remember that a patina is a natural process that either darkens or changes the color of a metal over time. Liver of sulfur speeds that process up in a way that you can control it. So this is a gel that is really concentrated, meaning it's really potent. So we're gonna open it up. You actually only need a tiny, tiny bit, and I'll show you how much in the demo. So I have a tiny bit of water in this Tupperware. I'm going to take a Q-tip and dip it in, and that is enough gel to mix with the water. If you add too much, it's really hard to control how dark your metal goes and at the speed at which it turns that color. So you're looking for like a pale yellow color in the water. You also don't need too much water. You only need enough to submerge your piece. Too much water and your solution is going to be really diluted, and it's not going to change at a pace that you can control either. So I'm going to use these tweezers. These are just found over by the sink. And I'm going to submerge my metal into the liver of sulfur. You can see it's already starting to change the color. So if you're looking for a lighter tone, you can dip it in for a shorter amount of time, and you can also just leave it in until it goes completely black. So I'll dip this bottom portion in longer than the middle section so you can see how dark it can go. Some issues that can come up, and I can see it happening in this little scrap piece of metal, is that I had some fingerprints on there. So any grease or oil will affect how the patina works. So before you do a patina, you want to kind of wash off your metal with some dish soap and water, and that ensures there's no oil on the surface that will affect the patina. So there's my test strip. There's some really cool effects you can achieve with a patina. So the first one is getting some textured copper. So I'm gonna let that submerge. The next technique uses stamping. So this is a recycle stamp. Still waiting for a student to use that in a project. So I'm gonna let that submerge. And the next thing you can do is a resist. So this is a piece of copper that has Sharpie drawn on it. Anywhere that the Sharpie is drawn is not going to change color. It's going to stay copper, and then after the patina has changed the color, we'll take the Sharpie off. So I'm gonna let those three sit in there until they're pretty dark, and then we'll talk about how you can use the patina in a different way and also seal it and finish the process. All right, so my metal has sat in the patina for about a minute. It's about as dark as it's going to get. So I'm gonna take it out and rinse it off in some clean water. You could just take yours straight to the sink. You don't need another dish for it. But the water kind of stops the process, takes the liver of sulfur off of the metal so that it won't continue to change color. And again, I let these go about as dark as they are going to get. So it's almost black. So I rinse those off, pat them dry, and I can set these to the side. Okay. This is a good example of a fingerprint that did not let the patina change its color. But I have my textured copper, my stamped copper, and my Sharpie. What I can do now is take some steel wool and start to remove some of that patina. The steel wool is going to remove the patina that is on the highest area, and then it's going to leave the recessed or the lower areas darker. So I'm just going in circles. You can see it's starting to take off some of that patina and showing the copper through. So this gives it a really pretty effect. It kind of enhances your texture even more. And let's say you did a patina and you actually decide you don't like it. You could technically remove all of it with this steel wool. So I'm gonna scrub this a little bit longer. You could remove more in the top, leave it darker on the bottom. You can really add some cool effects with the steel wool. So you can see the top surface is back to shiny copper, and where I've dented it in with the texture has that patina. It's the same concept with the stamps. So where you rub off with the steel wool is going to get lighter. I'll just do it on one section. And the areas that have been stamped or pushed down into the metal are going to stay dark. So this is a really easy way of getting your stamp to stand out a little bit more. The Sharpie is a little bit different. Once you've done your patina, you can take some just regular rubbing alcohol, get a Q-tip, and the rubbing alcohol is going to remove the Sharpie and leave your patina. So I'm gonna go through and clean off all of my Sharpie. It doesn't take too much. Dry it off. And you can see where the Sharpie was is still bright copper, and everywhere else has the patina. I could even then go through and add some more copper with the steel wool. Maybe you don't want your patina to be quite so dark. So you can combine these techniques together. Once you are happy with your patina, there's one step left, which is to seal it. Patina will rub off eventually over time, especially if it's getting worn out quite a bit. It also will continue to change color unless you seal it off. So I'm gonna grab a Q-tip really quick. And the way you seal it is with Renaissance wax. So this is similar to, it almost smells like shoe polish. It's just this waxy substance. So I'm just gonna get a tiny bit on my Q-tip, and I'm going to apply it on my project. It will remove a tiny bit of the patina, but if you're gentle, it doesn't take off that much. It's just removing any tiny pieces that the steel wool rubbed off. So I apply that on the entire surface. And again, it's a wax, so it's gonna feel waxy. Now I'm gonna take the clean side of my Q-tip. You might even want to grab a paper towel, and you're removing any excess wax. So it shouldn't feel greasy when you're done with it. It gives it back a little bit of the shine, and also again seals that patina so it's not gonna go anywhere. So I would do that on all of these examples. This is the last step when you are using a patina. The last thing I want to mention is that patina does not work so great on brass. This patina, I should say. There are other patinas out there. There's something called Midas green. It turns out a really pretty green color. It's pretty toxic, so we're not going to use it this semester. But liver of sulfur will darken brass, but it just makes it more yellow. So if you want that, you're welcome to do it, but it's never gonna get black the same as copper will. So again, it doesn't really have a huge effect on brass. If you're wanting to add some contrast to a brass piece, I have these patina inks. So they're different colors. They're not actually a patina, so they're not actually changing the metal itself. It's like a paint that you can use on metal. So again, I could put some of this blue in here, take a Q-tip, rub it off, and what's gonna be left is the green, the blue-green in my font. So you are welcome to use these patina inks, but they're not the same. They don't work the same way, and they do kind of have a different effect on the brass.